Dear participants, welcome to a new episode of our webinar series called Student Talks. I'm thrilled to have you join us as we discover and celebrate the student journey at the German University of Digital Science. I'm very much looking forward to a lively and engaging and inspiring conversation today. But before we dive in, as always, we will have our short round of introductions for both the speakers and the participants. So, dear participants, it would be great if you could write in the chat where you're from and how you have heard about us. I am Nicoleta, and together with the Student Affairs Department, all my colleagues, we support our students in their journey from the moment they start an application until they graduate. So we try our best to give prompt responses, also very fast admission decisions, and of course, we tailor our services to your needs and try to make sure that you have a successful and an enriching experience at the German University of Digital Science. Today, it is a pleasure to introduce Vanessa, who is currently pursuing the MSc in Cybersecurity at the German UDS. Vanessa, I'd like to pass the word now to you so you could briefly introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. So I'm Vanessa Baah-Williams, and I'm from Ghana. I'm a passionate lover of tech. That's why I decided to enroll in the cybersecurity course at German University of the Digital Science. So I'm a customer experience executive and a front-end developer. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vanessa. It's so great to have you with us today. And thank you so much for your time and for taking this opportunity to share your experience with current students because, I received so many queries about the student experience, how it is feel, how does it feel like, like how do the classes go? What is the schedule like? What does a typical day look into your life? So having you here today, it's such a great opportunity for our participants to learn from your experience and also for us to answer their questions. So, dear participants, if you have any questions, please send them in the chat. We will make sure to address them. Here you see on the slide, we have an overview of our agenda. I want to share this at the beginning so we know what to expect throughout this webinar. Of course, I'll provide a little bit of a background information about the German University of Digital Science for those of you who are new with us. And the focus would be definitely the student storytelling segment with you, Vanessa. So as mentioned, for any questions, feel free to send them in the chat as we will address them towards the second part of this webinar. And I would say that then we start, and I would like to start actually by emphasizing that German University of Digital Science is Germany's first fully digital university. Wow, right? So we are dedicated to advancing education and research in digital science, bridging the gap between today's technological landscape and the skills necessary for tomorrow's workforce. As digitalization continues to redefine industries and societies, German UDS stands as a response to critical global needs in education, technology, innovation, and professional development. Our accessible online programs empower learners from diverse backgrounds with high quality, scalable education in digital technologies. This commitment to accessible education allows students worldwide to gain essential skills for thriving in a digitalized world. So let's see how we do this in practice by hearing Vanessa's story. So, Vanessa, could you please tell us a bit about your background? You were muted, so we don't hear you.
Thank you. Thank you, Nicoleta. So I am a customer experience executive and a front-end developer. So for customer experience, I handle both all the inquiries. Let's say we have issues with our customers, making sure that our customers are satisfied whenever we render a service to them. And for front-end development, I handle basically the interface of any kind of design. I build websites. I'm a tech-savvy person, so basically anything concerning tech, you find me there.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Would you also feel comfortable maybe sharing your educational background and maybe where you're currently located, where have you lived until now?
Okay. So I'm a Ghanaian and I live in Ghana, Accra. And with
So the educational background, what did you study before joining us?
Okay, so I learned I did information studies. So it's a combination of library studies and programming. Yes, so that was for my bachelor's degree. So I'm currently studying, doing my master's, and that is in cybersecurity.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And here comes, I think, the question that usually most of the students ask, like, oh, it's an online university. I really don't know how I feel about it. It's so new, fully online. And my question is, what inspired you to choose an online university? And how did you know it was the right fit for you, right? You being in Accra and we are, in Germany, but global. So, how was this experience for you?
Okay, so I've always loved the tech space. And I've been wanting to pursue my master's in cybersecurity. So when I got the opportunity to do that, I grabbed it as fast as I could because I didn't want to let go of it because it was something that I wanted and I'd been given the opportunity. So why not? And with um, how do I explain this? What inspired me to choose an online university was that I'm currently working. I'm a customer experience executive as well as a front-end developer. So a physical institution was not going to be the best option for me because I was going to juggle all these things at the same time. So when I got the opportunity for an online university that was even going to offer me better opportunities, I didn't hesitate at all.
Excellent. This is so exciting to hear because I feel like most of the students that I get to speak with in this webinars, they value this flexibility because it allows you to combine so well, right, your academic journey with your professional life and also personal responsibilities. Because right now I often think about the modern learner, and there are so many things we have to juggle in a globalized world, right? So many responsibilities and many students do share this, that this is what makes the difference for them. This kind of flexible study model is very appealing. And for the participants, for example, who do not know, we have, if you do, for example, an MBA with us, you can extend your studies free of charge up to 3 years, provided that you already have paid for the program. And basically, if you do a master's with us, you would have for each academic year 3 extra years, so in total you could have up to 6 years to complete the program. And for some students, this is such a good viable option because, as I mentioned, there are so many responsibilities, and most of our students also work as you, Vanessa, right? So like trying to balance out things, and we'll come back to this point later on because it's definitely something that more prospects tend to ask. So we'll dive a little bit deeper into this topic at a later stage. But I just wanted to say to the participants that definitely there is the flexibility of having a part-time study model or a full-time study model. And there is this extension possible free of charge after you have paid the program. And with that being said, I'd like to jump into the next question because, okay, we understand, the flexibility and being able to have access to, renowned professors and get a German degree being somewhere else. But how do you stay organized when you study fully remote? And how does a typical study day look like for you?
Okay. So the main thing is that you need to have passion for what you are doing. You need to love it. If you don't love something, you can't put your all in it. So the first passion, and then the desire to make sure that you want to meet the goal or the targets that you have set for yourself. Because it's quite a lot juggling work with school. It's not easy. You need to be able to prioritize all of them. Just make sure that this is what comes first, this is what comes second, so that you don't lack in one. You have to make sure that they are all on the same scale. So you have to make sure that you should be able to balance, have a right and accurate balance so that you can be able to make sure that I'm excelling at work, I'm also excelling in my studies. Because sometimes we need to do practicals, we need to submit assignments, there are deadlines that need to be met. And work is also calling you, you need to submit this, you need to work on reports. So you need to be able to apportion your time appropriately so that you can meet all the deadlines. Else you can be excelling in one and you can be failing in one, and that is not what you want. For a typical study day, mostly our slides are loaded like for the week. So you have ample time. You have one whole week to learn, do your assignments, and then if you have any issues, there's something that we are not getting right, and we mostly meet our professors once in a week. So you can schedule a meeting with them so that you can have that discussion with them if you are having challenges with a certain course or a certain aspect of the projects that you've been given. So typically, they give us like an extended week to learn, assimilate whatever we have been taught, and then put it into practice. So I would say it's quite flexible. So you should be able to know how to manage your time and all your resources well, so that you can meet all the deadlines.
Thank you so much for providing and sharing these insights. I also wanted to add a little bit here because it definitely, I feel it's so relevant what you mentioned about, like being organized in terms of knowing your priorities and being able to set up a schedule that works for you. Because when there are so many other responsibilities, sometimes you really need to have like this umbrella view of your schedule to know what to do and how. I also loved some feedback that I received from some of the students saying that it's so important to be also proactive, right? So really like, planning your week, trying to see if you're struggling with something, just asking very fast and sharing this feedback with the professors so you get the help and support as soon as possible. Because with this flexibility, I also think comes responsibility, right? For you to take ownership because of course, the classes and the modules and everything is like very well organized and scheduled. I would say, for example, one module consists of 10 weeks, and 8 weeks are basically lecture weeks when you learn the material and everything. And then you have 2 weeks basically for exams and submissions and so on. So there is structure with definite, like there is a clear structure within this flexibility, but it's about how you take ownership of that and how you move forward with that as well. Maybe Vanessa, if in case you'd like to share some examples or share anything else on this question, I would want to give you space and time in case there's anything else.
So as you said, you need to always be organized because if you are not someone who is not organized, you might not be able to set your priorities straight and right, and you might not be able to meet deadlines because sometimes our professors can sometimes they understand that even though we are learning, we are also working. So sometimes they can extend the deadlines, but it may not happen every time. There are times that you need to meet the deadline because that shows that you are someone who is serious about whatever is ahead of you. Because if you are not a serious person, why do you are always lagging behind and then you are always not able to meet deadlines? So being able to meet deadlines shows that one, you are a very proactive person. You are set on meeting the targets that you have placed ahead of yourself because if you don't want to be serious, if you don't, the system is structured such that you need to be serious. You have to be well organized, well motivated to be able to finish the whole period of the course. So if you don't have that resilience, if you don't have that time and that patience to be able to um push yourself, you will not be able to make it, and then you drop off at some point.
Thank you so much for this feedback. I also wanted to share that although we are fully online, we have a very rigorous academic program and it's scheduled in a way for you to succeed. So, in case you have questions or you need support, we're always here. Also, the Student Affairs Department. So, if you feel like, okay, I might need support with one thing or the other, we're here to connect you with the right resources, as well as our professors are available. As you, Vanessa, mentioned, there are, weekly meetings, for example, with professors. So most of, I would say the content is asynchronous with synchronous elements. So we do have live lectures and so on. And with that, since you already mentioned it, I would like to connect it to the next question. Like, how do you actually connect with classmates and professors on a weekly basis?
Okay, so sometimes as I stated earlier, we have weekly meetings. So we just meet, we just connect to share ideas. Let's say uh, the week that has passed, what did we learn? If we had any issues with the slides, if it was well explained, if there was something that we didn't quite understand, how can they improve their slides and everything? Aside that, too, we have discussion forums. There's a platform called Yellow Dig that we use to communicate amongst ourselves if the need arises. So yes, those are the
Thank
channels with which.
Thank you so much. So, just in summary, as I said, the contest is asynchronous with synchronous elements for you to connect because I think it's important to be able to have an online community and a sense of engagement and participation and being part of a virtual university. And our professors, they organize this weekly meetings, and these live lectures are basically scheduled around your schedule. So usually the professor check the availability of the students because we have students from around the world, and the aim and the scope is to make sure that the time that is being picked works best for everybody. We understand that most of our students also work, so there's a lot of understanding and communication to make sure that we do meet your needs and meet you exactly at the time and at the place that works for you as well virtually. So, in addition to that, Vanessa, as you mentioned, right, like there's also office hours that professors have, so you could reach out if you need more support or further information. And there's group projects where you get to work with your classmates, you can get to engage with them. And I also find it very appealing because you get to interact with people around the world, and everybody comes in with a fresh perspective and different backgrounds as well. So there's always added value to this kind of conversations. And I would also want to ask you, Vanessa, what has been the highlights or like the highlight of studying online for you?
Okay, so I'm a great learner. You see, some people thrive in working together with their peers. Even though I'm a great learner, sometimes I love it when I meet with my peers. We have discussions. We meet to work on our project and stuff. It's very interesting, very fulfilling. Like meeting people from all over the world, having such discussions with them, and then just getting to know people on a personal level. Also, most of the like I've been I've been enlightened, I would say, because what I was expecting when I enrolled in this institution, that is what I've gotten in. I'm so glad that I took that opportunity because if you want to do something and you have been given the opportunity, you don't have to waste it. You have to grab it and make sure that you make full use of that. So my highlights and meeting with peers, having various discussions with my professors, and then mostly there are workshops and seminars that the institution organizers for the students, and they are very good. Like it throws more light on AI, how the advancement on technology, and those are my main highlights.
Thanks a lot for sharing it. It's so interesting because usually people would think like when we speak about online university, like the highlight wouldn't necessarily be in connecting to people. And I'm so happy that this is like such a big highlight for you because this also showcases that we go beyond the idea of being just online, right? It's about building communities, it's about connecting with people while giving the flexibility of studying when it's most convenient for you, arranging your study schedule around your personal or professional schedule. So, thank you so much for sharing that. That's so exciting to hear. And I also loved what you said, when you feel like there is an opportunity for you to grow, when the opportunity comes your way, it's a great task to take it on and see the other benefits or advantages that come with it. You also mentioned a couple of them. I also wanted to share with the audience. For example, we organize conferences and our students are invited. Our students participate in different conferences as well. We organize career weeks in which we aim with them to provide the opportunity for students to do internships with different companies and also organize in-person career workshops with that. So the career weeks basically is an in-person element that is optional to do. So we really try to figure out the needs of our students and provide this support. And with that being said, what advice, Vanessa, would you give to someone considering studying fully online for the first time?
So I'd say that I don't want to be biased, but pick my school. Pick my school. When you pick my
Love it.
school, don't think about any the German University of Digital Science because you are going to be enlightened. In fact, the kind of things that you'll be exposed to is something out of this world. So if you are thinking that, oh, an online education, you are not going to get as much as you would when it's you go physically. No, it's the same. In fact, I'll say it's much better than the physical one. So if you are thinking about furthering your education, you are trying to grow yourself or moving to the tech space, think no further than the German University of Digital Science. And you not regret it.
Wow, I have no words, no comments. I second that. I also think living in a digitalized world, it's so important to also be exposed to this kind of educational resources and institutions that go beyond the traditional learning. And why I say that is because we usually most of us, right? Like when we take on a new degree, we want to either just, have a career shift or upskill, reskill or something like that. But the aim is most of the times to find a better job or better career opportunities. And as I mentioned at the beginning, the German UDS focuses so much on providing the skills that prepares basically for tomorrow's workforce, right? Like for the needs of tomorrow. And since we speak about the future, right, for the needs of the future, what are your plans or aspirations after completing your studies at the German UDS?
Oh, so after completion, I'll very much love it if I'm given the opportunity to do some internships to gain more experience because um, I, I, I love the cybersecurity incident, threats, hacking, making sure that the cyberspace is safe for us. Anything concerning cybersecurity, you find me there. I'm just hoping that when I able to complete my education successfully, by that time I would have gained enough experience to be able to push further and then attain the goals that I have set for myself.
Vanessa, I hope all your aspirations come true and more than that, like that your dreams come true beyond your expectations and your wishes. And with that, I really want to thank you, Vanessa, for sharing your experience with us today. And I would like also to pass the word now to the audience, if they have any questions. And as the audience takes time to maybe write the questions in the chat, I also wanted to ask you some pre-submitted questions that I tend to receive around the time when we have this webinar. So, what would you say is the weekly time commitment for your studies currently, or how has it been for the past quarters for you?
Weekly time. And mostly it depends because most of the times, mostly very early in the mornings and then at dawn or in the evenings, my patterns change because um, I'm a tactile learner and also I photochronic learner. So my patterns change. It differs for everyone. I can pick things very early in the morning, and there are sometimes very late at night. So my patterns change.
Thanks a lot for sharing that. With this opportunity, maybe I also could add a comment for the participants. For example, since I mentioned we have like this part-time model for studying or full-time model, you get to choose basically every quarter how many modules you would like to take over. And it can be then, let's say, if you're working and it's the peak season at your work, maybe you choose to have only one or two modules, right? And when you feel like, okay, I have enough time, I'm very committed, I can basically study full time, you take on more modules. And this flexibility allows you to decide how much time you need to spend to be able to be successful with that. And Vanessa, also another question for you because you mentioned that you work and study. How do you combine that? How does it work for you? Do you feel overwhelmed? Do you think you found your balance?
Okay, so sometimes I'm able to balance it, but sometimes work is so demanding that sometimes I'm lagging behind. But
Mhm.
I pat myself on the back and I tell myself that this is what you've always wanted to do. So don't let the challenges of life or work um, outweigh what you have set your mind to do. So sometimes it's very challenging. Let me let you know that it's not easy. It's not easy at all. There are ups and downs, but if you let yourself know that this is something that I've set my mind to do, whatever comes, you will try your best to make sure that you're able to balance it too. Because when we started as having issues, because as learning multiple things aside working and um and and also schooling, and it was very hectic. It was tiring for me, but I had to let myself know that this is what I've always wanted. So I'm not going to let anything stop me from achieving that. So yes, it's not going to be easy, but you have to motivate yourself. No one will come and motivate you to push ahead. You have to do that yourself.
I love this very raw and honest response because I think it clicks with everyone because we want it to be easy, right? Like we want things to just fall perfectly in its place, but naturally there are challenges. And I loved also the motivational aspect of your answer, saying that, you know, you know why you chose this program, why you chose this school, and it's such a good reminder in these moments to know, okay, it's a phase. It's gonna get easier. And then with the right mindset, you pass through and get to the other side. Thank you so much, Vanessa. I see there are no other questions sent. I will still give the audience time in case they want to ask questions. And with that, maybe in the meantime, as the participants are still maybe considering some questions, I would like to offer a little bit more information about the program. So, if you think online education is a great fit for you as well, then I would like to encourage you to apply to our programs. I'm happy to share that we have a very easy and smooth application process for all of our programs. If you were to scan this QR code, it would take you directly to our application portal, where there's also an application tutorial video to guide you through the application process. It's very simple. You just need to basically create an account on our application portal, provide the requested information and documents, and we're very agile and strive to provide an answer, like an admission decision, within 1 week. Sometimes we're even faster. We do everything to be able to provide a fast decision just because we understand how valuable that is for our admits to be able to know, okay, I got a spot, and then I can plan everything for the enrollment and then the start of a program. It's also worthwhile mentioning that we have two intakes. So the application process for the April intake is ongoing, and you can still submit your application. And then we have the October intake. The application process, of course, is not open yet, but would open probably around April or so. Just for you to know, the fees included on the slide, they allow or include full access to learning materials, platforms, and student and career support, as well as the possibility to extend your studies free of charge, as I mentioned towards the beginning of our session. We're always here to help you, and for any questions, you can always reach out to us to the email addresses shared here. And since I see no other questions, with that, I'd like to thank you, dear Vanessa, for sharing your story with us. We appreciate your time and support. And dear participants, thank you also for your time and contribution to this webinar. For any questions, always feel free to reach out to us. Have a great rest of the day, and we hope to welcome you soon as a German UDS student. Have a good one. Bye.